Alright, time to finish up the SOE epic arc. We're at the SOE Bureau. Talking to Sister Elater again. A stranger's face. Your anger is understandable, but we've got more reason to cooperate than to quarrel. Dagan's your real enemy. You'll be interested to know that some of his corp mates have been spotted at a nearby station. We've prepared an agent to gain their confidence and extract information on their further operations. To you, she'll be Tahakani Karen, a ship's engineer from the Damsel. Before our operative can infiltrate Dagan's group, Karen's identity records will need to be altered. Take these records to an archive station. Once they're updated there, our friends will make sure they're changed throughout the entire network. Alright, so this is just a simple drop-off mission. Let's check this and head out. Don't forget to put the thing into the cargo hold. Alright, and we can start conversation. Complete mission. Excellent work, pilot. The altered records are being distributed as we speak. Now I believe we're going to have to head back. And before I go back to a cut, I just want to show you the station because it's very pretty. I noticed as I was docking, zoom out and look at it from here. Something about this, it just looks so cool to me. A little appreciation for the pretty things in Eve. Alright, back to station. I'll see you there. Okay, and back at the Bureau. The Sisters and the Spy. With those records replaced, our agent is to Tahakani Karen. What happened to the real one? Electronically speaking, she's a non-person. She's alive and safe, though. If she wanted better, she shouldn't have joined the Society. Now, we need to get our Kreen into place. I've filed a travel request in her name, and the Society has granted. All you need to do is rendezvous with the Society transport and drop her off. Once that's done, we just have to wait for her to tell us where Dagan is. Let us accept this, and I believe undock is going to be the first thing. Yeah, it's just going to be a mission location in the system. Alright, coming in. I believe we have to go and pick her up. Do his rendezvous and drop her off. Oh, I forgot. I have to go pick her up. Oops. Back to the location. Alright. Now with Tahaki Kareen, we go to this cargo container, this luxury space liner. And I realized I've been kind of adding syllables to her name for some reason. Oh well. Tis what it is. Micro warp drive to get closer. Then we have to drop her off, and that should be it, I believe. Alright, we're at the container. Put her in there. Public intelligence tells me you might have a lead on our prodigal son, Dagan. He needs to be taken down for everyone's good. The Republic will watch your back. That's the same thing that's right here, too. Yeah, and there was a ship that popped in and then jumped out. So they kind of know what we're doing. They're basically saying, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You're good. Alright, and complete this mission. Well done, Capsuleer. I believe Kareen has begun transmitting data already. That's next mission. Sealing the deal. Kareen's information is still coming in. But if you really want to find Dagan, you're going to have to help us deal with a little problem. The Society of Conscious Thought has deployed a refitted cruiser, the Omnipresence, nearby, with a substantial escort. We think they may be recording our local communication. If they are, there's a good chance they'll be able to decipher them and root out our agent. The Society will certainly murder our sister if they uncover her identity. We need you to locate the Omnipresence and destroy her. If necessary, engage her escort, but try not to destroy them. The loss of human life would be catastrophic. Alrighty. So let us undock and head over there. Okay, and warping in. Where is everything? Here we go. Alright, so we need to go for the spy, and we can ignore the escorts as much as possible. Our range with the antimatter is 3,000. So let's micro warp drive, get close, and let us take out this ship. And our encounter actually says that we need to destroy all the enemies, but I'm not sure if we do. We'll find out once we finish taking out this cruiser. I'm Adani Vusa from Isukon Internal Security. We've been monitoring data traffic between you and the Sisters of Eve. No, don't get excited. We're all on the same side here. The state will help you get Dagan, as long as you hand him over once you've got him. Okay, and they all disappeared after that. Okay. Yeah, so the first person that basically said you keep going, that was the Republic, which must have been the Minmatar Republic. That was the states, that must have been Caldari state. So we're just kind of going on these missions, basically being told by each nation that they're all on board with getting Dagan, which is kind of interesting. This last arc is definitely kind of like a culmination of everything that this epic arc has been working towards. And complete mission. Excellent work. The omnipresence has been destroyed, and there's no indication that she managed to inform her society masters. We'll be resuming contact with Kareen immediately. Request mission, Chasing Shadows. Our agent hasn't been able to determine where Dagan is, but in decoding her sensory data, we managed to pick up a clue. An Amarr pilot named Kristen Parthas recently delivered a cargo of drone parts to Dagan. These parts were black market, and may have been scavenged from some of your recent battles. We contacted Parthas. He's an independent operator, but wouldn't see the light. We've managed to locate him by tracking his communication signals. Unfortunately, it will be necessary for you to bring him in for a meeting under duress. Our archive data suggests that Parthas will travel with a small contingent of support ships. Identify his command vessel, destroy it, and bring him to me personally. Let's accept, and head out. Alright, and warping in. So this is our main target. I'm guessing after this, Amarr will tell us basically that they're on board with taking Dagan in as well. But first, let's just take out this battlecruiser. I actually quite like this structure. Looks kind of neat. I enjoy the Amarr architecture. We're going to try and ignore these rookies if we can. And we are in range. We can start shooting. We get in. Capacitor neutralized from this cruiser. Interesting. Going to have to be a little aggressive here. We're going to have to use a cat battery, and let us use up the rest of our iron charges here. Oh, we are actually in trouble here. Use that. Okay, because we are in danger here, let's go dock up, repair, and warp back in. That way our capacitor can refill. Wasn't expecting the newts. Okay, so we're all repaired. I'm going to switch all of my guns to the anti-mirror charges and reload everything. And then what we're going to do is go rush that battlecruiser, group all of our weapons, make sure they're all on the anti-mirror charges. Since we now know that we're going to have to deal with energy neutralizing, this is much more timed than other encounters have been. We need to take out this battlecruiser before they neutralize our capacitor completely. Oh my goodness, this battlecruiser is not fun to deal with. Doesn't help that we were basically rushing them, because they had good trajectory. Okay, let's see if we can take this one out now. Cat battery. This is getting very dangerous very quickly. Partially because we need to get closer, we need more cap, we need to do armor repairing. Yes, I know we're in hull. Once we get through the armor, this should go very quickly. This is definitely a little bit more extreme than I remember it being. That's an Amarr citizen you've kidnapped, pilot, but I understand your motives correctly. We can overlook that. Once you've extracted Dagan's location, we'll help you bring the Hammer of God down on that bastard. Language. Yeah, so we can just ignore the rookies now. Whew. That was a little bit more intense than I was expecting it to be. Now I understand why we have those cap boosters. They are very essential for that battle in particular. We can ungroup these now. I'll have 1B iron charges. Okay, so right click, get repair quote, repair again. That's fine, it's not that much risk. And complete mission. I'll handle questioning Parthas. Rest assured he will be treated humanely and compensated well. Request mission, the missing piece. We finally determined Dagan's location. It appears that he's outfitting another expedition. If he successfully acquires more of those drones, and worse, maintains control of them, he and his clients will be able to wreak terrible destruction across the cluster. I'm sure you can take out Dagan yourself, but it looks like he's hired some muscle. You've made some Imperial contacts, yes? They might be able to clear a path for you to engage Dagan. The Empires will want Dagan not just for justice, but for his knowledge. Accept their help, but consider delivering him into our merciful hands instead. We'll spare him and make sure his knowledge does no harm. You have to make a choice between the Empires. Which one do you want to help you in taking down Dagan? So we have the Gallente Commander. The Gallente Federation have set Commander Boost Coltern to share us as your contact. Coltern is an idealist but effective. You will find him a reliable ally. The Minmatar Commander, Kitar Ang, a veteran of the Minmatar Republic fleet, awaits you in of you. She is a brilliant tactician if impatient. The Caldari commander, Adani Yusev, geez, these names, a contractor with Ushukon, is eager to speak with you in Sash. I've heard he is the very model of an efficient Caldari soldier. Then we have the Amarr commander. The Amarr Empire has sent Liar Ivanas, a commander of some fame, to Minark. She is a firm defender of the Amarr faith. Her zeal will prove effective against Dagan. So this is the part in this quest line where you have to kind of choose which nation you get standings with at the end of it. We're going to go with Gallente and then accept this choice. And that'll determine which system we have to go to for this. Now be careful out there, you hear me? Let's track this, cruise, and then we have to travel to that system. So I will meet you there. Alright, so we are in the system. We have to warp to the location where the commander is going to be hanging out. And this is going to be a different system for each empire that you choose. Since we're choosing Gallente, this is the one that we end up in, Shiru. And land. And there's these, do you need help with Dagan? Join channel Dagan droppers. So if you want to do that, you can open channel and then do, I have Dagan droppers. If you click join, you join a channel and you can request help from here. And it speaks to the channel flashes if no one else is talking. Then people you can contact if you really need any information or help with Dagan. It's a decent resource. But we are here to talk to Bruce Coltern. Our man Dagan. Based on your information, we've determined Dagan's location. He's preparing to depart, but he won't get far. We've assembled a small task force to disable the station. They won't stand a chance against a capsuleer, though, especially not one as slippery as he is. We're just clearing the way for you. Good hunting. So accept, and this is the big moment. So I'm going to go duck up real quick, take care of something IRL, and then we will warp to that mission location. Alright, here is our big mission, just to take down Dagan finally. And we'll get to see how good we can do enough damage to take him down. We should be able to, but we'll see. Okay, and they take out all of the Gallente Federation ships. Let's go take out the escorts first, just to get rid of some damage. Micro warp drive, get closer. Yeah, and Dagan is target painting us. Target painting just means that we're going to be easier to hit. It increases your signature radius, which helps people locking on and aiming at you. I like to take out the escorts just to get rid of any extra damage, because what I have discovered is that once you get close enough to Dagan, you're going to be moving fast enough in a destroyer that he won't be able to hit you really, but these little frigates will be able to hit you. So I like to take these out first. Yeah, you can see the target painting, and you can also see that Dagan is missing us despite that. Mostly. He's gonna get some hits in, but I actually like that graphic for the target painting. Kind of neat. Let's get close to these escorts and further away from Dagan. Okay, take out this last escort. Okay, and now we can orbit Dagan and lock. Let's reload all of these real quick. You see how he's doing like 30 damage? We'll be able to repair through that pretty quickly, easily. Hopefully. We'll see. Alright, we're in range for that one. And now we're in range for all of these. Getting a shield warning, that's fine. Alright, so it does look like we're going to be able to get through. This is a Praxis, which is a shield ship. So its shields are going to be the strongest, so if we're getting through those, it should be okay. Turn on the armor repairer. Yeah, and we'll just have to use the cap boosters when our cap gets low. This is really a battle of attrition. Unless you have an extreme amount of firepower, this just takes a little while. Use our cap booster here. Yeah, we're getting through pretty quickly, actually. And I'm just going to be very liberal with this cap booster to make sure we don't run out of capacitor. We can switch that to antimatter now. We should be good on everything. Yeah, looks like we're doing pretty good. Getting into armor, finally. Yeah, this is going down much faster than the shields. Don't forget the cap booster. That way we can keep the armor repair on. Nope. Yep, getting into hull. They just added new fire effects when you get into hull. which is actually really cool when you're up close like this. There we go. Let's grab Dagan out of this container, and then we'll warp back to our agent. But first, I'm going to go and loot all these wrecks because I am greedy and I want all the little bit of extra I can get. So I will see you back at the agent location. Alright, we are back in location. Start conversation. Complete mission. Nice flying, sir. Madam. Genetic records confirm Dagan's identity. If you'd like to pass him along. A request. Del Segno El Fine. As per our agreement with the Sisters of Eve, we will turn Dagan over to their care. A Sisters of Eve ship awaits his delivery. Sister Alatura assures me Dagan will be treated humanely. So we can now accept, and this is our last mission. And it is going to be in this system, so we can just warp to location, and I will see you there. Okay, and we land at an acceleration gate, which we need to activate. And this last section of the SOE Epic Arc is probably the coolest in my opinion, in terms of lore and story in general. Hello, old friend. Simply deposit Dagan in the Wreath Prison Transport, and your long journey will be at an end. No matter what you see, I must ask you to stay calm and do not fire. There is this cargo wreath, and you have a ship from every nation over here, and we should see in a few moments something very cool. I'm going to approach instead of opening the cargo container, because I want to get a good look at this. I've always been a little impatient and not paying attention closely. Sister Alatura, I repeat, do not fire. Yeah, we get this drone structure that pops in. This is like a drone hive. I just wanted to get a close look because I've never... Yes, there's like this drone that's watching us, which is interesting. It kind of implies that we're kind of like letting them exist, and they're kind of watching, see what happens with Dagan. And control F9 to pull up the... to get rid of all the overlays and stuff. So now we can look back at my ship, now that we see that they're watching. And here's all of, I think they're battle cruisers, or battleships of all of the different nations. Open this cargo wreath, throw Dagan in there, and the drones disappear. I told you had nothing to fear, pilot. Thanks to your help, the rogue drones need no longer be a hindrance to our efforts. Return to your commander and tell him Dagan will no longer trouble the Empires. Farewell. Perhaps there is hope for your kind yet. Yeah, so that's kind of the dramatic conclusion. The Sisters of Eve are actually like kind of working with the rogue drones too. And then we report back to our agent, start conversation, and complete mission. The rogue drones did what? That's the damnedest thing. I've heard they can think for themselves, but I've never heard of them just watching like that. There's something much larger going on than we realize. Regardless, you've been a tremendous help to the Gallente Federation. Whether you continue your efforts defending the Empires or forge your own empires with your fellow Capsuleers in the depths of all this space, know that you have proven your worth as a demigod. I can definitely talk. English is hard. Cool. So that is the conclusion of the SOE Epic Arc. Yep, all the way through. You can go back and look at the chapters if you want to. These Epic Arcs, you can repeat them, I think it's every 3 months. So you don't have to like notate that. You can just kind of check every once in a while. See if this is open again. Yeah, that's the conclusion. Let's go back to Arnon and get all of this stuff. I'm going to haul that all back to Dodixie. But for now, I hope you're doing well, stay radiant, and I will see you in the next video.